Hello, everyone. How are you? Welcome to PGN, the Personal Growth Nation, and we are here with episode 2 with ALYSSA TABIT. I am calling in live from Los Angeles, California. I'm actually at the Burbank studios right now. I give you a tour, but I got to keep the internet connection strong, so I'm not going to go around right now. But I want to thank you for showing up. The Personal Growth Nation, is a place you're going to find positivity, motivation, inspiration, overall personal growth. And I want to kick this off today right away. And I want to introduce our guest, my better half, ALYSSA TABIT. And I'm not going to steal too much of her story, but I do want to just give a couple little nuggets about her. She's going to be, for those of you who don't know her, she's the most amazing, incredible human being on the planet. And I've been blessed to know her for the past 7.5 years. My absolute best friend. We became best friends within 3 weeks of knowing each other. And then it became romantic about 1.5 years in, and the rest is history. But she is super, super successful with everything she's ever done in life. And what we're going to be talking about today is her entrepreneurial success and just her overall success in winning different challenges in her life. And I think no matter what you do for a living, there's a lot of value to be gained on how you can overcome struggles and how you can overcome challenges. But ALYSSA is no stranger to marketing. I was going to give her a couple little shout outs here. She's been an entrepreneur for almost 4 years. She's been full-time for the past 3.5 years, and she's been helping people all around the globe. And she has worked her way to the top 1% and not one, but 2 different companies that she's partnered with. And she just has a lot of knowledge and a lot of wisdom to share with all of you today. So I'm going to let her share her story, get myself out of the way. But ALYSSA, welcome to the PGN episode 2. I'm super excited to be here with you. And
all of this wait, the wait is over. I'm here now. Like I was saying, you guys, I am ALYSSA TABIT. For those of you that don't know me, I come from southern Florida, and that is where I grew up. And I guess as a kid, you could kind of say I was a little bit of a goody two-shoes. I definitely was always super focused. I really wanted to make sure I was always making really good grades, but I also was super social too. I had a lot of fun. I did a lot of extracurricular activities. And I also had this crazy, crazy passion for the arts, especially musical theater. I loved it so, so much. It was really one of my most favorite things in the world. And so I traveled a ton during high school. I was able to, go all through the US, New York City, Cayman Islands, all doing musical theater, which was my absolute passion when I was growing up. And it's kind of crazy because as dreams do, it definitely brought me out to Los Angeles. And for a couple of years, I was really pursuing and dabbling in this industry. And it was a lot of fun. But with any dream, I think sometimes you need survival jobs, right? So I would do everything under the sun. I mean, I'm talking, I was a Disney princess at kids' birthday parties. I would do promo work. I would get out there at venues, events, and I would really push people's products. So, hey, I guess that was always in my blood. And eventually I realized I can't do all these crazy jobs. And I landed a really wonderful job as an executive assistant to a travel agent. And my life really started to change because my entire world was all about this job, and many years into it, it was 2014. And I realized, wait a minute, this isn't why I came out to LA. I don't want to be in this industry. There really was no room for growth as an executive assistant. And I realized it was time for a change for me. So I was definitely really looking around at all these different types of jobs and career changes. And one day when I'm at work, of all places, I was on Facebook and I was looking around and I saw a friend of mine was being recognized for earning 6 figures his first year in a home-based business. And at that time, I didn't really know much about home-based business, but I knew that it really piqued my interest. So I reached out to him. I learned all about this industry and the wonderful world of working from home and residual income, which, by the way, was just such a game changer for all of us. And about 4 months in, I supplemented my income and I was able to quit my job. And I've been a full-time entrepreneur ever since, which has just been an absolute dream. But with anything in life, things happen to you and you don't always realize just how imperative residual income can be. And it was 10 months into our journey in 2014. It was October 2014. And we ended up learning how important residual was because Freddie and I, we got into a really bad car accident. And unfortunately, I got the worst end of it. And I was put in the hospital for 3 months. I had to relearn to walk. I've had 12 surgeries in the past 3 years, lost some vision in my eye, have a ton of metal in my body. And it's just been such a journey. But man, I am so lucky that I had built a business when I did, because that residual income allowed me to relax, focus solely on my recovery, and not worry about finances. So it was really, really incredible to have something like that to fall back on. And I got to tell you, during my journey of getting better, I had this moment when I was in the hospital. I'll never forget it. I was sitting there. I literally could not move. I'm in the bed because, broken bones head to toe. And the TV is on. And I think it was like a late night host, but it was really loud. And I was just so frustrated with my situation. I was frustrated. I couldn't move. And I was upset at what happened. I remember just bawling hysterically, and I let it out because I'm such a firm believer. If you're feeling something, go through it, then you can move on. And as soon as I was done with it, I go, okay, Alyssa, this sucks. You can look at this right square in the face and say, hey, this sucks. I'm so unhappy with what's going on. But you have two options right now. You can either fall, and you can use this as an excuse for the rest of your life. Why you gave up on your dreams, why you didn't do this, why you're not working out because your body hurts so bad you never wanted to go to physical therapy, why you weren't successful. I go, or you can fight. And you can fight through this, not only for you, but for people, for your friends, for your organization, for individuals out there who are having falls every day. We all go through tragedies. It's life. We don't get strong, or life doesn't get easier. We just get stronger. So I decided right then and there, I go, Alyssa, wipe your tears. I go, you're going to fight this thing. You're going to get better. And I realized right then and there that we are the sole people who determine our destiny, period. We are the ones. Yeah, life happens. Things are out of our control. But what is in our control is how we react to these things that happen in our life. So if you're going through something bad right now, I promise you, there's light at the end of the tunnel. You're going to get through it, but you have to have the right attitude. So that's what I did. And, cut to today, things have never been better. We finally got our life back on track. We've been able to build really wonderful businesses, have been working on so many different projects. And, I'll tell you right now, I really will never allow anyone to ever tell me my future, because I had doctors who would say, hey, Alyssa, you probably won't walk for like 8 months. And so once I chose that I was going to fight, I go, oh, you don't know me. I'm so competitive. And so within 3 months, once I got the okay that I could bear weight on my foot, I go, oh, I'm walking. We're doing this. And 3 months in, we were walking. 8 months later, when I was supposed to just be walking, I was in the Bahamas with my dad. And I literally was on one of those jet skis. And I was like, this is terrifying. I actually hate this, but I'm so happy I did it, because I showed myself that even a doctor could not tell me my future, that I was the owner and the ruler of my destiny. And so, yeah, cut to today. We've worked through, this entire crazy, crazy journey. And every single day I'm working on growing and getting better. And, we've been able to share our story now with a lot of people, from people in the US to Australia to Thailand. It's been absolutely crazy that I've gotten to speak and share this story. And so I just like to use these platforms to connect with everyone out there, because you never know what your neighbor's going through. So, I've had quite the story, and that is just a little slice of it.
On their side hustles, they're working on multiple streams of income. But, my question is, a lot of people are trying it, and a lot of people are putting their toe in the water. A lot of people are giving it a go. But, you're one of the, I like to call it a success story, because I think a lot of people do it as a side hustle for extra money. But then a lot of other people would love to start off as extra money, but be able to do something full time. And you were able to pull that off in 5 months. And I guess my question is, what was that transition like, of being able to start something new, have success so quickly? And during that, you're working harder now, or were you working harder in your first 12 months for you to be a full-time entrepreneur doing what you love every day for the past 3.5 years?
Yeah, that's a very great question. And I feel like in the beginning, almost, they say ignorance is bliss, because I had no idea about the world of home-based businesses. I didn't know how to grow business. I didn't know how to train people. And so I was like ignorance on fire, and I just went out there and I knew that I had to get out of my job and I wanted it. So going out and building the business in the beginning, it was so simple for me because my why was so strong and I had to get out of my job. And I didn't care what anyone said. I didn't care about any rejection. I was like, I'm on a soul mission to find like-minded entrepreneurs who want what I want. You know, essentially, I want to find those partnerships. And I was able to find them. And of course, as the years pass, you go through different, things that happen in business. Sometimes it's a roller coaster. Sometimes there are loop-de-loops and dips. Like, you just don't know what's going to happen. And I think the transition of going from someone who was being shown what to do and then transitioning into the individual and the leader who's now training other people, it's been the craziest, most amazing journey. But I definitely think now I know the whole big picture of everything, putting out fires, knowing how to handle different personality types. And it's something that I love. I love it so much, but it's more of a responsibility because you're building a business, right? And I think the one thing that has always kept us continuing to grow is that we're wildly consistent. We always want to make sure we're doing the right thing when we say we're going to do it. And we've never broken that. And we always have a plan of action. So I'm just really, really happy with where our business is today. And I can't wait to even see in 6 months to a year continuing to grow with just incredible people. You really want to make sure you give it at least 1 year if you're going to try something new, because, a lot of people I've heard say in my time, oh, I gave it my all. I gave it my all. And I'm like, you gave it 3 months, 90 days. What can change? You can't build a business overnight. You have to give it at least a year to build a solid foundation, to find the right people that want to continue to be, your inner circle and build this business for times to come. So yeah, basically, to get back to what I was saying, I believe you were asking me, what kind of advice would I give to someone new? And if someone is brand spanking new, but they really love it, understand that if you love something and you have a strong enough why, you're never going to be lazy. You're just not. You got to make sure that you have a schedule, because if you do not have a schedule, things will not get done. And I can attest to this. I'm the first person that can tell you, if I don't have something in my schedule, it's probably not going to happen. But I know the more and more I started using a schedule or a planner, whatever it may be, everything started getting done. And, in the morning when I wake up, I have something called a brain dumping journal. And I wake up, my coffee, because mama needs her coffee every single day, first thing. And I will write in my brain dumping journal all the personal stuff of life. I really always need to make sure I get that off my chest, because the rest of the day I'll be worried about it. I'll be like, oh God, I had to do that. I had to do that. I had to do that. But when I get it all out, I'm able to follow the rest of my schedule, which is, activity, productivity. So from there, I will always make sure I'm following a schedule. I'm following my planner. And if you schedule it, guys, it'll happen. But be consistent. Be wildly consistent. If you love it, if you need it, give it a year. I'm telling you, don't quit. Do not quit. For the love of God, don't quit, because you will make it happen as long as you plug in with the right people, you've got the right leadership, you're doing personal development. You have to be growing or you're declining, and just really give it your all. Why not? What else is there, So that would definitely be my advice for anyone who's just getting started. I hope that everyone at home is having as much fun as I am by him not being able to hear me and me not being able to hear him, because I definitely was just talking about this schedule, which is so, so imperative and so important. And I will tell you, I definitely am someone who will get so much done within a day, but it's because I do it in increments. I really think that if you have 15-minute blocks, you will get so much done. Say it's stuff for your business, do it in 15-minute blocks. At least 4 15-minute blocks if you're working on a side hustle, right? So that's, you have a full-time job, but you have a side hustle that you're working on. Do 4 15-minute blocks a day. That is an hour. So you could do 2 of those at lunchtime. You could do 1 in the morning with your coffee. You could do 1 when you get home, right after dinner with the kids, whatever it is. Make sure that you have those 15-minute blocks, because you got to sit, you got to be focused. And especially today, guys, with social media, it is so easy to get sucked in Freddie and I sometimes, when we're, especially on the weekend, if we're on our phones and we're working or doing whatever, and then we both are just sitting there, we're not talking for like 20 minutes straight, and we look up at each other, we're like, oh no, were you stuck in the Facebook matrix? Like, what happened? Because it's so easy to click on a video and then another one scrolls up and then another one. So you got to make sure you're being productive when you're on social media. Now, social media on its own is one of my most favorite tools for businesses. It doesn't matter what kind of business you run. You need to have social media and you need to be killing it on there, because there's so many consumers. There's so many consumers out there just waiting for you, but they haven't seen you yet. And what's really crazy for me is all the time I'll be maybe on Insta, maybe on Facebook, and I'll see something I like in the ads and I click on it and I purchase it. I would have never seen it if it weren't for that. I don't watch commercials anymore. I barely watch TV as it is. I don't really look at billboards when I'm driving by. I'm always on my phone though, because this is the new center of our attention. So make sure if you're in business that you've got social media. And if you don't know much about it yet, maybe do a consulting course or do a course on it of someone who's had a lot of success. Make sure you check out their followers to make sure that they definitely know what they're talking about. But there are great people out there who can help you, who have a lot of online courses that I've taken myself to learn it. So it's been really awesome. But yeah, do 15-minute increments and just do it 4 times a day. That's an hour a day at least if you're building a side hustle.
And so here's a good question for you. So you talked about your car accident, how you went through this big struggle. I think that's something that we can never really get away from, unfortunately, that we're going to have bad days every now and then. We don't want to. We can choose to look at them differently and make them good days. But, I think growing businesses and learning for the past 4 years of working with so many people, life happens. And, when you had that life event happen, you could have chose to use it as an excuse of why you were going to quit or why you weren't where you wanted to be, or you could use it as fire and you could succeed. What goes on through a moment like that when you're having like a tough day or a big life tragedy happens? What was going through your mind, and how did you keep your business growing during a time when you had to focus on your recovery?
So this kind of goes back to the beginning when I was talking about that fight or fall moment, because the moment I chose to fight, I told myself, you cannot have excuses. People go through this kind of stuff each and every day, but different types of tragedies. There are deaths, there are divorces, there are breakups, whatever it is. I think we all have our own personal issues that we deal with. And in having success during all of this, because I will tell you, my very first business, when I was definitely on the mend and getting better, I would be in my hospital bed and I would take phone calls. Like, it's absolutely crazy. And I think almost in a way, I was like, look, I chose that I'm going to fight. I chose that my team needs me. I chose I'm going to overcome this thing, but I believed it. And thoughts are things. I've never heard or read a more true statement. Thoughts are things. So if there's something that you don't believe, it's not going to happen, period. I believed I was going to get better. I believed I was going to conquer my business. I believed I was going to help people. And, we did. We made it happen. But it started with belief. And every single morning as well, I always, and Freddie still to this day laughs when we do it, but I always have to do affirmations, because I have to start my day off by saying and telling the universe the things that I want to do and I want to accomplish and who I want to be. Even on my phone, on my background, I've got affirmations. They change all the time, but whatever it might be in my life that I'm wanting, I tell the universe, because it's a mental note in my head that I'm going to make it happen and that I'm going to be whatever it is I want to be. And as cliche and corny as that sounds, you really can do whatever you want, but you have to believe in yourself first, because no one else will if you don't. And from there, it's just the sky is the limit, guys. You just got to believe in yourself, but don't ever become a victim. Don't ever use your tragedies to define you, because it's just not a good look. And you're not going to get things done. Like I said in the beginning, 30 years from now could have been like, oh, I'm not going to bounce back. My whole life is ruined because all these things happened to me. Like, I lost vision. I have metal in my body. I can't work out. I could have very easily taken that path. You know why? Because it's easy. But I decided that I was going to fight it. I decided that I knew I had more fire in me than that, and that I owe the world so much more because my life was spared. Like, I got to be here for a reason, right? So every single day, we all have our different gifts, the different things that we offer the world, and you got to just do it, because why not? What other choice do we have? So that being said, you know, don't use excuses, make it happen, schedule things out, and believe in yourself. I mean, that is key. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will. So start there. If you're having trouble with that, I'm telling you, 15 minutes a day of personal development, or you know, an audio, whatever it may be, whatever works for you, do it. Because a little bit every single day, it's consistency, it's a slight edge. You can change, you just have to want to. So a little bit every day, no quantum leap here. Just continue to grow and be the best version of you that you can be.